Welcome to the lecture Game Design and Game Development. In this lecture, we will delve further into the topic of usability engineering, which is very important for successful project development. To make it easier to find the relevant information later, we see the list of content here. Let's start with the question, what is usability engineering actually about? Let's take a look at the key principles. Usability engineering focuses on user-centered design, iterative development, accessibility, consistency, and feedback to enhance user experience. It ensures that products are designed with user needs in mind, refined through continuous testing, accessible to all, visually and functionally consistent, and provide clear feedback during interactions. We now want to get to know different methods that are suitable for usability engineering and thus establish direct contact with users. But different methods lead to different goals. Various methods and approaches of usability engineering with a focus on user experience techniques that help to identify the needs and expectations of users can be found in our toolbox. Let's take a look at this toolbox right now. Let's start with one of the most important tools for getting to know and better understand our target group. User research methods such as surveys, interviews, and focus groups are essential for understanding users' needs and expectations. For instance, a software company might conduct user interviews to identify the most important features for a new project management app. This direct feedback allows the team to prioritize development efforts based on actual user input. When we want to assemble participants for such interviews, we should keep the following points in mind. They should represent the target group. We should invite users of comparable systems. Possibly the system increases the target group, therefore invite also non-typical users. Further guidance here would be, high diversity in stakeholder selection is useful, and use stimuli and come up with concrete motivations for the participants. Here also applies the rule, approximations to the target group are not ideal but better than nothing. When we have selected our participants, I would like to give some hints here which questions are very unfavorable during the interviews. Would a daily update of our software be an important feature for you? The answer could be, sure, why not? After all, it is important. Or, what features could you imagine in our system? Here we can say that users are experts in their life but not in design, and most of the time they do not know what to say. It is our task to answer this question. Still very unfavorable are, what would you do in the following hypothetical scenario? How often do you do the following things? How much do you like these things on an absolute scale? And don't ask either or questions. It is also important to say that participants should also be given enough time to think during the questions. So-called personas are used to avoid self-referential design and to give us a way of mapping knowledge about the target group and their experiences, wishes, and goals. Creating user profiles and mapping typical usage scenarios, referred to as user journeys, helps align design with real user needs. An example of this is an online store that develops 3 distinct personas: price-conscious buyer, tech enthusiast, and occasional shopper. By understanding these personas, the store can optimize the shopping experience tailored to each user type. One of the 3 most important tools is certainly the power of prototyping. Prototyping involves developing wireframes, mock-ups, or interactive models to test design ideas early in the development process. For example, a car manufacturer might create an interactive prototype of a new vehicle's infotainment system and test it with drivers to gather usability feedback. This early testing can reveal design flaws before full-scale production begins. Usability testing is essential for identifying weaknesses and areas for improvement in a product. By engaging real users, developers can gain valuable insights into how their product is used in practice, which can lead to enhancements that improve user satisfaction and overall effectiveness. This process helps ensure that the final product meets user needs and expectations, ultimately contributing to its success in the market. The usability testing process typically involves the following steps: define objectives, select participants, create test scenarios, conduct tests, analyze results, and implement changes. An important aspect to consider here, and one that can often be observed, is that there is often a discrepancy between what someone says and what they actually do. We should pay attention to this when observing the tests. A/B testing, also known as split testing, involves comparing two or more variations of a web page, app, or other user interface elements to determine which one performs better in terms of user engagement, conversion rates, or other key performance indicators. By randomly assigning users to different versions and analyzing their behavior, businesses can make data-driven decisions to optimize their designs. By systematically comparing different variations, companies can make informed decisions that lead to improved performance and increased customer satisfaction. Heuristic evaluation involves a small group of evaluators examining the interface of a product to identify usability problems. The evaluators use predefined heuristics as a guideline to assess the interface, ensuring that it meets user needs and expectations. This method is efficient and cost-effective, allowing for early identification of usability issues before extensive user testing. Nielsen's heuristics are a set of 10 principles that serve as a foundation for evaluating user interfaces. They include visibility of system status, match between system and the real world, user control and freedom, consistency and standards, error prevention, recognition rather than recall, flexibility and efficiency of use, aesthetic and minimalist design, help users recognize, diagnose, and recover from errors, and last but not least, help and documentation. Eye tracking technology measures where and how long a person looks at different areas of a screen. This data provides insights into user behavior and preferences, allowing designers and marketers to optimize their interfaces for better user experience. By understanding the visual attention of users, businesses can make informed decisions about layout, content placement, and design elements. Heatmaps are visual representations of data that illustrate the intensity of user interactions across an interface. In the context of eye tracking, heatmaps display areas where users have focused their gaze the most, often using color gradients to indicate levels of attention. For example, a heat map might show that users are primarily looking at the top left corner of a web page, suggesting that important information should be placed in that area to maximize visibility. Accessibility testing is essential for creating inclusive digital environments. It helps identify barriers that may prevent individuals with disabilities from accessing content, thereby promoting equal opportunities for all users. By adhering to accessibility standards, organizations can not only comply with legal requirements, but also improve their overall user experience, reach a broader audience, and demonstrate social responsibility. A practical example of accessibility testing can be seen in the efforts of a government agency that tests its website with screen readers. Screen readers are software applications that convert text displayed on a screen into speech or braille, allowing blind or visually impaired users to access digital content. In this scenario, the agency conducts thorough testing to ensure that all website elements, such as headings, links, and images, are properly tagged and described. This includes accessible rich Internet applications attributes, providing alternative text for images, and ensuring proper heading structure. Card sorting is a method where participants are given a set of cards, each representing a piece of content or functionality, and are asked to organize these cards into categories that make sense to them. This process helps identify how users think about information and can inform the design of navigation structures, labeling, and overall user experience. Benefits of card sorting are often user-centric design, improved navigation, and data-driven decisions. Cognitive walkthroughs involve a systematic examination of a user interface by experts who simulate the actions of a typical user. The goal is to assess whether users can easily understand and navigate the design without prior knowledge or training. This method focuses on the thought processes and decision-making steps users might take while interacting with a product. Steps in conducting a cognitive walkthrough are: define user tasks, create user profiles, simulate user actions, evaluate design decisions, and document findings. There is a very beautiful quote by Yogi Berra that fits wonderfully in our context. You can observe a lot just by watching. Not just observing participants, but participating in their lives, describes the term deep hanging out very well. We ask ourselves 5 important questions in the process. What are people doing? What values or what goals do they pursue? What are the similarities and differences between people? How can these partial views be embedded in a larger context? Other contextual information can be crucial. When, where, under which conditions, etc. I really like our visual analogy with the treehouse here again. Now let's move on to an experiment that was conducted in a call center and that gives us an interesting result. I am going to ask 2 important questions. Please pause the video at the points and think about the answer. Only then let the video continue. Question 1. What do you think, who is the best expert in the call center team when answering the questions? Take your time to think about. Have you taken the time to think about it? Okay, the answer is, the best expert is the one who has been around the longest. This is perhaps not so surprising, and certainly your answer went in this direction. Let's move on to the second question, and please remember again, first pause, then think, and only then continue with the video. Question 2. What do you think? Who is the second best expert in the team? The answer may surprise you a bit. Or did you get the answer right? The second best expert is the one sitting right next to the first best. This is an interesting result that you should think about. It proves very well the quotation and the thesis of Yogi Berra, doesn't it? We can already reproduce the reasoning very well now. All informal things that cannot be found in manuals can be learned by observing the expert. From this, we again draw consequences for our user-oriented development process. Build up a partnership with the people who are to be observed. Also learn all the necessary work steps. Observe the practical work processes. Review what is observed with the people being observed. Pay attention to the environment and all objects. Observe if things may be used differently. The rule here is that mistakes are the nuggets of a gold mine. This means that new approaches to solutions are needed here and will certainly help the users. After listening carefully to this lecture, answering the following comprehension question should help you to summarize the most important statements again on your own.